Over the years, this one thing remains the same. Hometown people that are your friends serving you every day to meet your financial needs. We want to see you grow and prosper. And when you ever have a need, you'll get personal attention right here at home, not in some far-off corporate office. Number one in customer service. Apex Bank of Camden, Benton County's best bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this Saturday morning to Operation 7570, whether you've joined us by Facebook Live today, WRJBradio.com, or the old traditional way on your FM dial, 95.9. But however you're joining us today, great to have you with us. Hope your Saturday is off to a good start. Sunny, supposed to warm up for the next day or two. Then once again, Tennessee weather is going to change, so keep that in mind as we go through this coming week. But this morning, live in our studios is a young lady we haven't had on, I don't think, in about a year and a half, as I was checking my records a day or two ago. But this is our county librarian, Miss Susan Hubbs. Susan, welcome back to the program. Been too long.
Thank you for having me. Yes, it has. I appreciate that you're going to let us talk about the library and everything we do today.
Well, we appreciate that so very much. We appreciate the services you and your fine staff perform and do for people of Benton County. And I might just start and ask you this. 2022, was it a good year down at the library?
Yes, 2022 was an exceptional year. I think we recovered from COVID mostly, and our programming in person got back with very large numbers. We were able to do our fair food booth again this past year at the county fair for our friends. And we've had a lot of people in and out of our library, a lot of people using our meeting rooms, using our materials. It's been a great year.
Well, that's great. Fantastic. So you are back in, for all practical purposes, full operation then?
Yes, we are still in full operation. If people would rather that we perform a curbside service for them, we're still going to do that too, because we found out that some people just enjoy not having to come in, and we're more than happy to bring things out to you.
Yeah. Susan, young lady that grew up here in Benton County and a resident of Benton County all your life, of course, but we may have some newcomers on Facebook, some new listeners out there. Give me some background about yourself and how that ultimately led to you being down at our Benton County Library.
Well, I have lived here my entire life, you're correct, except for a few stints out of town, college and other areas like that. And since then, when I came back to Benton County, Miss Virginia Whitworth was getting ready to retire whenever my youngest child was born, and she had talked to me about being the children's librarian. So I took over that position as the children's librarian right before she retired, and ultimately 12 years after I became the children's librarian, I became the director of the Benton County Public Library System. Now, let me say this. The children's librarian is way more fun. You don't have to deal with paperwork. You don't have to deal with budgets. And kids think you're a rock star. But I wanted to be able to give back to my community and do something for the all of the citizens of Benton County.
Now, as you were growing up, coming through the ranks out here to the schools in our system, of course, were you interested in reading in books at that time and utilized the library?
Yes. My entire life. My mother took me to the library every Saturday, and we got books and read them. She read, I read, and so that just created a love of language and reading and libraries where everybody is welcome. Doesn't matter from the richest to the poorest. We're there to serve you, and I absolutely love the idea of a place that holds our knowledge from the beginning of time, that you can come in and feel comfortable and feel welcome and know that we're going to be there to help you.
What is the history of the Benton County Library? Of course, we've been down here a lot of years right now, but there was a library long before we were down here on South Forest.
Yes, there was. As a matter of fact, the original library started as a room in the county courthouse. And it was just a room full of books. They had the bookmobile that came through from the region and would deliver books out to people and different things like that. Eventually, they grew into what is now the Benton County Volunteer Program in the basement over there on Walnut Street. That was the library I grew up in, where we used to go every Saturday. Eventually, Miss Virginia Whitworth and the Lockhart heirs decided that they wanted to contribute something to this community for all that they had always been readers, and They had loved being librarians, and so they donated the land on which the library now sits. They raised a large amount of money and got some grants from the state and built the current building that we're in now. And believe it or not, we've been there since 1999.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. And it was a very empty type space when we first moved in there, and now it's a very full type space. We never thought we would fill the place up, but we have, and we have utilized every inch of it and absolutely love it, and are so appreciative of the Lockhart heirs for donating the land and get that ball rolling years ago.
Now, you mentioned down on Walnut at one time it was housed in the basement, I guess where RSVP is right now.
Yes.
Up above at a time there was the health department.
Yes, that's where I got all my shots when I was a child.
Much more fun to go to the library.
Oh yes. You know, when your mother took you there, you had to determine where you were going, upstairs or down. Downstairs was great, upstairs not so good.
Yeah, but no reflection. We say that, of course, so, as children growing up, but we do appreciate those fine people down at the Benton County Health Department, of course, for keeping us safe and
absolutely
healthy and all that. Susan, who governs the operations of the Benton County Library?
The Board of Trustees. We have a Board of Trustees that is appointed by the Library Board. You serve a 3-year term, and you can serve 2 terms, and then you have to roll off. So we have a very diverse board, several men, several women from all areas of Benton County, Big Sandy, Eva, Holiday, so that the best interests of the citizens can be served.
Yeah. And what might they consider at a board meeting when they do meet on a regular basis?
Policies for the library, procedures on how we do things and how we serve the public and what services we have. They determine how our budget is spent each year, on what areas we're going to put the money that the county gives us and the city gives us to best serve the purposes and the mission of our library, and other just day-to-day dealings of the library, so that whenever there's a decision made, again, it's in the best interest of everybody, and it's not just one opinion.
Now, going back through years, and there's some people utilize the library that cannot imagine a life before internet and websites and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
But when we were getting into the computer age and the internet, World Wide Web, that sort of thing, were those decisions that the governing body that you're talking about, the board, had to consider in those days, what equipment to buy to get us rolling into the modern world?
Actually, they just had to decide to accept the first technology.
Okay.
It was given by the Bill Gates Foundation to all libraries in the United States. They started out with the rural libraries and went to the larger libraries at that time due to funding. And these days, yes, they have to consider what's best to suit our needs. Do we need more technology? Do we need more materials? What services does our community use the most? Because some communities may want to be completely digital. Some communities, especially with older retirees, still want to have more hands-on materials for people, more hands-on services. They may not be comfortable using technology. We need more classes, than maybe a larger library does, where you grow up in your school system learning more about technology than we're able to provide here. So, yes.
Yeah, and at that particular point in time, I'm sure it was a learning experience for you and your staff, as well as the the patrons of the library were coming in and getting used to all this good stuff.
Oh, we've learned so much over the years. So many things have changed. So many things have grown. The technology, of course, grows by leaps and bounds all of the time. You can now read a book on your telephone or your tablet. You can watch movies on your telephone or your tablet, listen to books that way. On your personal computer, your laptop, and those devices were not necessarily something that we considered when this first started, that you could carry around a computer, because that's basically what you do now. So we have to be able to offer advice and services of how to set up apps, how to best utilize the digital services that we provide and that our state and region provide, including like the Libby app. That's one of our favorites. If you have a free library card, which all library cards, your first card is free, you can sign up for the Libby app, put in your card number, and check books out on it, just like digital books, just like you would check a book out at the library. And then the great thing about that is you don't have to remember to return it. It automatically returns itself in 2 to 3 weeks. And then you can reserve books, get more books. So the technology that we've had to learn and understand has grown by leaps and bounds throughout the years.
Do a lot of people out there take advantage of things like we're talking about, the Libby app, and access library services online?
I think a lot of them do, but I think a lot of them still don't know what all you can access, like our catalog. You can see everything that we've got. You may have to stop by the library to pick it up. But with the Libby app, of course, you can do that from your own home. You just have to have a library card. That's the only thing that you have to come in and do. So a lot of people utilize it, but there are a lot more that could if they would like to. A lot of students, a lot of parents that don't know the resources that are available online, and we can help you navigate those.
Susan, how big is your staff at the Benton County Library?
We have 7 people at the Benton County Library. We have a cataloger, IT person, assistant director. She wears many hats. That's Miss Linda White, that the library has not run and would not run without her for several years. She's just absolutely the best at what she does in the state, which is cataloging and IT services. Then we have a children's librarian, Miss Shelby Hatler, that goes out and reads to all of our preschools and does most of our programming, adult included. We have Miss Val Brookins and Miss Ashton Goodwin that run our front desk. Miss Val is our circulation manager. She does a wonderful job and can help you with anything that you need. Just come to the front desk, and if Val can't find it, she's going to find one of us that can find it for you. We have Miss Janet Lane, who is down in the archives. She is our archives manager, which is in another section of the library that a lot of libraries don't have access to, where all of our county records are stored, from the courthouse, marriage certificates, birth certificates, things like that. You can find listings of in the basement at the Benton County Archives. And then we have Miss Jackie Brown, who is down at Big Sandy and is our branch manager down there.
Yeah. Now, you've talked about, some of the services. We want to get into that more and more, into some of the other areas of the library, more than just the top floor, where the books are on the shelves. Very nice. But there's a lot of rooms, and there was in the basement. So expand on that a little bit, what these extra rooms are used for, and, downstairs, basement part.
We have upstairs, we have one meeting room, and we have a history center, genealogy room, where you can go in and research your genealogy, the history of Benton County, the history of the state of Tennessee. We have a couple of our staff that are really well versed in it and can help you find what you need. If you need information about your family history, if you want to look at chronicles that have been passed, on our microfilm machine, you can do that. And then down in the basement, we have another meeting conference room, and we also have a children's area that is just second to none, where we have programming and allow meetings. We allow people to rent it out for a birthday party space or different things like that. We have the archives down in the basement, which is a separate area that houses all of the records. It houses all of the physical past chronicles. If you need to look at a chronicle, if you would like to look at a physical copy of the chronicle from, 1900, that's where they're bound and set down there. So we have a lot of different areas that can be utilized, and spaces that can be utilized for meetings for your community groups, meetings for your family and friends, whatever you need to do. We're willing to either rent the space out. If you're a community group, it's free. If you're a community group, you do not have to pay us to use any of those spaces. We have the Narcotics Anonymous that meets in our basement 3 days a week. We have the Genealogy Society that meets upstairs in the genealogy room. We have the DAR that meets upstairs. So we have a lot of different community groups that utilize those areas.
Yeah, and you, once a month, we have a room for the Benton County Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's what I started to say.
Yes, we
do that.
We appreciate that so much.
So that y'all can meet and discuss things in a in a nice area.
Yeah, that is very nice.
And we enjoy having everybody there and seeing all the community. And by letting people meet in there, we're hoping that they see the services that we provide and see everything that we've got, and will come in and utilize the library and everything in it.
I get distracted whenever we have a meeting down there at Sports Hall of Fame. I get so distracted by just going down there and seeing everything that's on the wall and the historical things, and every time I'm in that room, I see something I missed before.
Absolutely. You can go through it forever. I've been there for 25 years now, and I can tell you that there are things in there that I still have not seen or come across that I think I don't know where that came from. And it's just really interesting to dig into a lot of that. We are housing a lot of historical articles down in the basement. Up in the history room, we have a quilt that was donated that was made in the 1800s by someone's family from Benton County that hangs in there. We have DAR registers. We have World War I and II registers. So many things that you just didn't realize were available to you as the public here at the library.
Yeah. Now, how far back did you say the chronicles you have? How far back do they go?
I can't tell you the year, but I know it's the 1900s.
Okay,
I'm not sure if we have the bound copies of the 1800s. I know that we have them on microfilm.
Right. Well, the reason I bring that up is because I like to research old newspapers, and I think down at the office, I think they go back, to 1962.
Yes.
I think with the bound.
Yes.
So I can come down there and research
further back.
Yes, great. That's great to know.
That's absolutely correct. We also have annuals in our history room from most of the years of all of the schools in Benton County. So we have a lot of interesting things that you can come and look at and research.
Would you know offhand
Okay.
what the oldest paper, the oldest material, the oldest document related to Benton County that might be down there in archives?
I don't know the particular document itself, but I know the oldest one I've seen is 1883.
Okay. Wow.
So we have a lot of really old documents and pieces of paper and things that people have donated throughout the years because they didn't know where their family were going to put it, and they want it preserved for everybody, including their families, to come and look at it at some future date.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the quilt, which was donated, and I've seen that quilt. I was down there
Yes.
when the gentleman brought it down, family heirloom, wanted to give it to a good cause. That brings up the topic, Susan. Can people donate, collectibles, artifacts, keepsakes? They say, well, I want to give this to where someone else can enjoy it like I have.
Yes.
Do you accept donations? How does that process work?
We accept donations. You talk to us about what you would like to donate, and then we have to discuss it with our board and see if that is really something that we, as a group, are willing to accept. If it's something that we can house, because if it's something super large, there's not enough room to do that. And the historical importance to Benton County. And once we make those decisions, then we will accept the donation and put it probably in our archives area if it's an older item, because there are several items down there. Sometimes they will go in our history or genealogy room. We also accept donations of current materials and items that we can put in our book sale or put on our shelves. And again, it's a determination process by year of publication, how relevant it is, how often we think that item will be used or viewed, those types of things.
I understand then. Now, then, you mentioned the fact we can access Benton County Library online with the proper credentials, that sort of thing, but are you linked up, let's just say, with State Library and Archives in Nashville, maybe UT Knoxville Library and Archives, which just has a great collection of historical things? Or can you link up with those facilities?
Yes, you can. And we do. We borrow things and do things through the State Library and the other libraries in Benton County, in the state of Tennessee, through a system called the Firefly system, where we can order things from other libraries and have them brought here. People can check them out, or if it's an item that can't be checked out, they can view it at our library, and then we can send it back to wherever it came from. As far as linking online, you can find links online for those on our website, bentoncolibrary.org, and we have several links to different things. The TEL system, which is the Tennessee Electronic Library, which will give you access to materials all throughout the state of Tennessee, including newspaper articles, magazine articles, different things like that.
Yep.
So, yes.
Well, of course, people have a variety of interest here in Benton County, and depending on the individual, he or she comes in to do research or whatever, look up something of interest to them. But is there a topic or two that might draw more attention than anything else down there, or does it all just vary and depends on what you like?
It varies and depends on what you like. We have lots of different topics of interest, and we try to have something on everything. We have a very good collection of Tennessee history, and we have a wonderful nonfiction collection, and that will allow you to research things like antiques. That seems to be a big thing for a lot of people. Antiques, and different areas of Tennessee where their families may have originated from, things like that.
Now, I know you get funds from Benton County government, of course, and other local sources, I know, but beyond that, where does funding come from for the programs that you operate?
We do a fair food booth.
Yeah.
We work a fair food booth once a year. I don't know what to say about that, other than, it's a large undertaking and a lot of work for our staff, our wonderful volunteers, our friends of the library once a year. It is 20 hours a day for a week, serving food in order to be able to bring you the programming that you need for free. We try not to charge for anything that we do. As a matter of fact, I'll give you an example. Today we are doing an adult knitting class, or crocheting class. I'm sorry, crocheting. Let me correct myself. You had to sign up for that, but it's completely free and all the materials are provided by us. The children's programs that we do throughout the year, including our summer reading program, the materials, everything that we do, the programs, they're all free because we work that food booth every year and raise the needed funds because we don't have a line item for that funds. The county does not have the budget to provide those funds to us, and we want to have those programs and provide that for the community. So that particular week, we work extra hard and are extra tired, and we love it. But we get to see the community out somewhere besides the library at that time. But it provides the funding that we need for the year.
Yeah, there's some great cooks in the kitchen area down there, and some great staff, you and all the staff down there, and the volunteers that you get to provide those great things. And it's just a treat to be down there.
I also do want to touch on the foundation. We have the Friends of the Library. You're welcome to make monetary donations to the Friends. The Friends are the ones that generally provide for our programming throughout the year. All of our supplies, our performers, they pay for that. They do a great job for us. And then we have our foundation, the Benton County Library Foundation. If you wish to make a larger monetary gift or bequeath money to the library, you can bequeath it to the foundation. Those are for capital projects, the future of the library. If we need a larger building, if we need more land, if we need a bigger space, those are the types of things that the foundation provides for us. And those are where large bequeathments go or large donations go. It's governed by its own board. The library has completely no say in that. Again, more people with more opinions and more ideas so that we're being the best stewards of this county's money and this community's money and any gifts that we receive.
Well, speaking of monies and things you can do to help the library, tell me about the book sale I think you have once a month.
Yes, we have a book sale on the first Friday of every month from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. that is run by our friends. Specifically, it's run by two of our friends, Miss Eva Duggar and Miss Mabel Robinson, who volunteers everywhere all of the time. I'm sure you know Miss Mabel from throughout the years.
Absolutely.
And they run the book sale for us. You can come down to our book sale and purchase gently used items, practically new. Hardbacks are 50 cents for a book. Paperbacks are 25 cents for a book. Magazines are most of the time free. Children's books are 10 cents a book. You can purchase DVDs, audiobooks for $1, puzzles for $1. And it all goes back into funding our programs, other materials that we need, and things like that. So you can get a great deal, and we can make a little money to help our programming and further our Friends of the Library mission.
Now, I think a few weeks before the holidays actually took place, back, I guess it was the month of November, I think I saw a picture in the paper of the Secretary of State. I guess Linda, or down there, went to the regional office or somewhere recently.
Yes, Linda went to a training, and they handed out our checks that day. What that is every year we apply for an LSTA grant. That's Library Services and Technology Act. It is a federally funded grant through which we get technology. It goes directly to providing things like our Wi-Fi extenders. If you sit in our parking lot or across the road from us, you're going to get good Wi-Fi. And those are thanks to our extenders. It also provides us with the computers that we use, any software that's needed, including software to clean the computers, software to update them, any kind of software like that we need. And it's a matching grant, so we have to match whatever they give us. This particular year, they gave us $11,700, so that means that we're matching it with $11,700. And all of that will be going toward any needed technology items that we need this year, and to provide any services with technology that we can provide to the community.
You got to keep up with technology. That's constantly changing. What we're
does.
doing today is going to be outdated in 3 or 4 months, more than likely.
It does. You know, with you having public computers that computers can use, we have a laptop lab where you can go in and do a class if you need to, something like that. And if you're going to keep up with technology, those computers become outdated probably every 3 years. So you've got to, purchase new equipment, purchase new software. The Word programs are redone every so many years. The Office programs are redone every so many years. And you've got to have the latest of those in order to be able to provide the most services to the people.
Okay. Well, I tell you, time's getting away from us, and probably a little bit past break time right now, but let's send it to Luke Crutchfield in the other studios for our sponsor, a message from our sponsor, Apex Bank. We'll be back with the second portion of Operation 7570. Stay with us.
Apex Bank of Camden, proudly serving the Benton County community since 1931. In recent years, through growth and expansion, we've taken that same local community spirit into other markets. Today, with over 20,000 customers across Tennessee, our business philosophy remains the same. Local people making local decisions, serving our friends and customers, and investing in the communities that we serve. Here for you yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Apex Bank of Camden, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second portion of Operation 7570 this morning. Susan Tubbs from the Benton County Library right down here on South Forest Avenue is with us today, just off the Camden Court Square, talking about events and programs, services that you can take advantage of with our friends at the Benton County Library. About a month into the new year, and still planning on down the road then, you looking forward to the remainder of 2023?
Yes. Hopefully we're going to have many great programs. If you stop and pick up a calendar with us, or you look on our Facebook page, we will have a calendar posted on that, and you can pick up a calendar, a physical copy, at the library if you would like to. And it shows all of our events that we're doing, throughout the month of, at this point we're still in January. We have family movie matinee days where you can come with your family. We provide free popcorn and movie snacks, and put a movie up on our big screen in the Tennessee room for you to enjoy with your family. Those are usually family-friendly movies. In October, they get a little scary sometimes, so we make that a little different. We have VR days, video game days for kids that you can come in, play with our VR systems and play our video gaming systems. We have craft days for adults and children. We, of course, have our story times every week during the school year. Those are at 10 a.m. For our preschool age children, our after-school children come at 3:15 p.m. and have programs that are geared toward them. We have summer reading programs where performers come. You can check out books during all this time and help foster a love of reading in your kids, because a love of reading is going to foster a successful child. So I think that if you come in and see what all we have to offer for every age. You're going to be surprised. One of the big things that we do too is we have a partnership with West Tennessee PBS.
Saw that in the paper this week. Tell me about that.
Through West Tennessee PBS, they come to us and present STEM programs: science, technology, English, and math. And what you're going to find, engineering and math, I'm sorry. And what you're going to find in those programs are the kids love to build stuff, and you don't understand that you're learning when you're building, like we did yesterday, a bow and arrow out of popsicle sticks, dental floss, and arrows were your Q-tips. They bring that type of thing to us and present the program, all the materials, they bring those for free, and Miss Jennifer Medford presents the programs to us. The kids love them. They have a lot of fun while learning and maybe finding their niche in this world. Maybe their niche isn't reading and English and so much as it is putting something together or taking something apart, and this gives them the opportunity to do that.
Hands-on experience, to me, that is just as important as what you're going to learn in the classroom behind your desk.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think that so many people are kinetic learners rather than visual or audio learners, that they have to do it to be able to understand it rather than just hearing about it or reading a book about it. And that gives us the opportunity to show these kids that.
Now, do you and your staff get together, well, every so often and discuss, well, May, school gets out in May, that's 3-4 months down the road, but are you and your staff already discussing what shape maybe something like the summer reading program may take, and, work months in advance on programs?
Oh, yes. Our summer reading and our fall programming are both decided and determined as soon as the last one finishes. So we're a year ahead of trying to figure out what we want to do, what needs the community has that maybe we haven't previously seen, or we could meet in a better way. We discuss programming. We look at other libraries and see what they are doing that we might could adapt for our area, for the needs of our communities. We'll look at big libraries like Nashville or Memphis and see, do they have some kind of big program that we could do in a smaller manner? And we're constantly evolving and changing with the programming that we do and what we offer to everybody. We now offer a Facebook pajama story time every Tuesday night. That evolved during COVID, but kids love it, so we've kept that. We do Facebook Live programming so that people can join us from their homes and learn how to do something, or hear a story, or hear about some good books. And we've found that we can reach so many more people if we reach out into our community and into their homes in different ways than we used to think that we were doing, And we still go out to our preschools and go to schools and anywhere that anybody asks us to. But we also try to do things, again, to reach you in your home so that if that's where you're more comfortable, we can still reach you there.
Yeah. And, as much as we like going down to the library and seeing all the services and visiting with the fine staff down there, it's important to have your staff get out in the community for these things like you're talking about. Get away from the confines of your building down on South Forest. Absolutely.
One of our best advertisements for anything is our preschool story times with all of the daycares and preschools in this area. Miss Shelby goes every Wednesday, and reads to each of them. She picks a topic or a topic that they're using at that time. She also brings them materials that they can use throughout the week that their teachers have requested, and you get to see so many children and affect so many lives that way. We also have Cornerstone that comes in, the Cornerstone adults that come in, and we do a program with them once a month so that we're able to reach them and enrich their lives with programming and fun stuff for them to do outside of where they are. We also, of course, go to the fair every year so that we get to see every person that goes through there. We go to the schools and talk to the teachers and the librarians and the students and anybody, again, that asks us, community groups, whatever, what's our mission, what's our vision, and lets us tell you what we can do for you, because there's always something that we can provide for you.
Yeah. Well, enjoy visiting with you down at the fair at your booth and our friends next door with the Benton County Rescue Squad, and at either booth you can probably get something hamburger, hot dog, a drink, of course, but I like the fact that you and Dwayne and all the fine folks may try to work together and have something different on each other's menu.
Yes, we try to have unique menus every year. We try not to step on each other's feet so much so that you can have a variety of options. The Rescue Squad is a worthy cause that I hope none of us ever need.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But absolutely, if you do, they're going to be there, and we want to support them in any way that we can as well. So working together and trying to raise money for two wonderful, needed resources in our county is a great thing.
Absolutely, no question about that. And I know it is not a Benton County Library project as such, but I know you and your staff wholeheartedly endorse this, and that's the van that Betty Jordan has with the BOLD grant now we've had since the start of the school year that she's taken out. Words on Wheels, I believe.
I think it's amazing that she takes that into people's homes for them, and that she delivers books to them, and that she can meet their families and see their situations and what more is needed in our community. It is a blessing, no doubt. It's a great blessing to these children and their families, along with things like Second Harvest. I want to mention the fact that we have a partnership with them where we feed children. We feed them at Kids Cafe every afternoon. We feed them on weekends, breakfast, lunch, and supper. We have snacks, and we get that through Second Harvest. Second Harvest does their food boxes for everybody so that nobody in this county goes hungry. Betty Jordan, what she's doing is so that everybody in this county has the opportunity to put a book in their hand. These things are just beyond wonderful for such a small rural place as Benton County.
It has to be rewarding to you and your staff to see these preschoolers and these kindergarten age kids, these elementary school kids coming down, taking advantage of your programs, and just see them grow up and how mature and how they grow and how they learn to appreciate the library even as they get older and older.
I believe that is one of the best parts of the job for all of us, is the fact that we see you from birth to death. We share in your struggles, we share in your joys, and we're just there to be a part of your lives in whatever way that you need us to be. It is so rewarding to see children start at the library, grow up, take their talents other places, bring their talents back to Benton County, and spread their wings and go far off places. And I like to think that the library has something to do with that, because I like to think that you can find yourself in a book. You can find other worlds in a book. You may not be able to travel outside Benton County when you're young, but your mind can. It's absolutely one of the most rewarding parts of the job.
Well, as much as we love the modern technology, our iPhones, iPads, computers,
Yes,
that we can access things from the Benton County Library with, there's just still something about a newspaper, a magazine, or a hardcover book.
I'm just going to tell you, there's nothing better than the smell of a new book. I love to hold one, to touch it, to smell it, to feel it. I read on my laptop. I read on my tablet. I read on my telephone. But there's nothing like sitting down when you're having a bad day, curling up with a good book and just losing yourself in it. I don't see that books are ever going to disappear. I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. The first book ever printed was the Gutenberg Bible, which ushered in the dawn of the Age of Reason. And I just love to see the fact that that has grown into what it is today, the Age of Reason, the Age of Technology, and where we go from here.
Well, Susan, anything else we need to stress? I've had my talking points today, and I want to give you an opportunity in case we've missed anything, just to say what you want to right now, something we haven't talked about thus far.
Well, we've talked about a few of our services offered, but I'm going to talk about a few more. We fax, we print, we scan, we email, we copy. We have books, DVDs, CD books, things that you can check out. We have computers that you can use, a computer lab. We have a community resource room, which has lots of things for parents in there to help further your child's education at home that's fun, games, different activities, things like that. And we have a library of things. We have things that you can check out that you might want to try. such as a popcorn machine for a party or a cotton candy machine for a party. You can come and see us, and we'll see about setting that up for you. So we have a lot of different services, and I just want people to come in and check us out and see what all that we've got. That would be a really great thing for us. Again, we have our programming every week that we do. If we're out of school for some reason, maybe you can bring your kids to the library. I believe February 2nd is Bring Your Children to the Library Day. Everybody bring your kids to the library. You can get them a library card. Any age child can have a library card as long as the parent has one. All you need to have a library card is you need a state ID or a driver's license, something that has your photo on it, something that has your correct mailing address on it. Your first card is always free, so everybody can get a free card. Doesn't matter where you live. And then, use the services. See what you think about them. Make sure you tell your funding body that this is something that's really important to me. And let us know what we can do for you, what we're not doing for you, that you think that maybe we could provide. We'd love that.
You love suggestions and ideas as you go forth with programs.
Absolutely. Some of our best programs have been born out of a suggestion or an idea. Santa Claus comes to see us every year for Santa PJ story time, and that was, people were talking about it cost money to go see Santa. They had to pay to have a picture. They had to pay to have activities. So we set up one every year now where we have Santa. He comes for free. He visits with all the kids. They get a little something. We have free activities. We have famous library hot chocolate. We have food and fun for families. It's just really a great time of fellowship for everybody. And that was an idea that came from another, from somebody, talking to us about something that they needed.
Sure, yeah. Hours of operation at the library.
The hours of operation at the library are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we're open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday we are open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. And Saturdays we are open from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. and closed on Sundays. The archives operates from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And the Big Sandy branch, which is having to operate out of the CCOC in Big Sandy at present, operates from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
I want to talk a little bit more, just a couple of more minutes about the Big Sandy branch then. And, was that, brought back, did it actually close couple, 3 years ago, or have to move to another location?
The library building itself became uninhabitable.
Okay.
And could not be insured, so we had to move out of there. And the CCOC has kindly let us use their little front dining area as a temporary library at this point. And that's just where we're at right now.
All right, okay. But it provides a very very needed service down in that part of Benton County.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yes.
All right then. Susan, thank you so much. I appreciate you spending some of your morning with us today. Thank you, and we'll have you back in before too much longer, and we can access you, or we can find more about you, regular web page and on Facebook as well.
That is correct. Our Facebook page is extremely active. Come see it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our program, Operation 7570 this morning. Thanks to Susan Huss for being with us. Thanks to our sponsor, Apex Bank. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you next Saturday morning. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
For more than 85 years, Apex Bank of Camden has built a tradition of local people serving local people.